Hi and welcome back to another video. Now, it's been a bit of a rough week for me. I feel like I'm dropping balls all over the place. And have you ever had times like that as well, where everything is, you've got a plan or you're starting to make a plan and things just kind of drop and fall apart and you kind of feel like crap? Well, that's what my week's kind of been like. It's been a mixed bag. I mean, that's why I didn't even do a video last Thursday. I was just feeling like I had nothing to say when I know I have many things to say. But it's been a mixed bag in the last week. One of the things that was occurring with the horses was that I would go in there with their basins of supplements and whatnots, and it became almost a dangerous area. Now I'm new at this. I have not figured out how to make them give me my personal space. We have not figured that out yet. I will. But what was happening is they would both come rushing to the gate when I'm coming in. Annie would be pushing in, and so would be Phoenix. Now, Annie always likes to put Phoenix in his spot, so she'd be going at him with her teeth and biting at him and trying to push him away. Well, I'm right in the middle of all that. So it was not a safe thing for me to do. So what Owen did was he created 2 slots. He called them prison slots, putting the food in through the fence or the gate. And he made some, actually it works really well, where I just slide the basins in and they can just eat off of there, and I don't have to get crowded by these 2. Annie! Woohoo! Come on, girl. Hi. Good morning. Good evening. Hi. Phoenix. Get some water. They're doing good. Now, I will, if you have any ideas on how to do this, I would really appreciate it. Like I said, new at it. I will go and look up videos on how to teach horses to give you personal space, but that's going to take time. And and I was unable to do it in the moment. And so that's one thing. And so I was very grateful when Owen had created these 2 slots for the horses, and they kept to themselves. They did not bug each other. She did not try to bite and chase them away and hog both of them. And a cute thing was, one time I had just a few minutes and to do this. So I set out their basins of supplements and whatnot. And then I left to deal with Jasmine. And when I came back, they had finished their snacks and had pushed their basins back out onto the ground for me. So I appreciate their efforts. It's now a group project, and I quite like that. Oh, speaking of horses, you know how we got a farrier for a minute and a half, and then she gave a lead to another one, and it was going to work out great. Well, I didn't hear back from her, and so I sent out a note saying, hello, you mentioned, last Thursday, and she sent me this message, and yeah, we're on the look again. And this is harder than I thought it would be to find a farrier for the horses. Now, they're not due until somewhere, January, February, if their hooves slow down. We have a little time, but yeah. Going on yet another lead. I think it's a guy named Michael. So I'll send him a message and see how that goes. And maybe he has a lead on a lead, and here we go. A fun thing that occurred was I got a message from a new friend, Judy. Now, she is the wife of the gentleman I was learning to ride with, and he was going to give us his horse Hank that ended up bucking me off. Anyway, through the experience of the buck off and the going over and learning, and I think I might have made a new friend or two, which is cool. So there is a silver lining to that cloud. We met in the town and had coffee and a visit, and it was very nice. And even though the roads were slick, I was just happy that I was able to get there. And so a fun thing about this friendship is normally I'm the one having to call, I'm the one having to message, I'm the one having to say, are you free on this date or in this date? Because then I'll make it up. On this occasion, she's the one that reached out. She's the one that picked the time and the place. And so it feels good when somebody else is also making efforts at friendship, and I'm quite happy about that. Now, with the rucksack walking, well, we've had some really cold weather and snowy and blowy, and it's not been pleasant out there. Oh, day 2, the 2nd of November, and yeah, take a look around. I am doing my rucksack walk with Gus on my hand, so you'll see my arm jerking around because, haven't tied him to my body yet. One of the hardest things I'm finding with this rucksack walk isn't the walk. It's the getting the backpack on me, on my big fuzzy coat with 20 pounds in it. It was quite the process. I felt like a dog chasing the tail trying to get this thing up and over my sleeve. today I got a message from a new friend saying that her and her husband are going in for their flu shot today, and they are wanting to know if I can meet them for coffee at the co-op. And of course I said yes, and then the weather turned to this, and I drive a Mustang, so I will see how it goes. I will take my time. It's only a short drive into town, and we'll see. I do need to pick up some protein things that I can eat to decrease all the carb yummies that have been landing in the house that have been really hard to ignore. As I ate 2 bread muffins this morning. They were so good, but wasn't on my plan, but so that's it for my carbs. So just the protein for the rest of the day. Help. Well, I'm off on a rucksack walk. I had put on some pounds, so I took out some weight out of my rucksack, and as soon as that comes off, I will pop the little hand weights back in my bag. Right now it just feels very, very light, so then I know I put on weight. So back at her again. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's got some snow or hoarfrost on the trees, and yeah, it's beautiful. The temperature is nice. Didn't even have to wear a toque. Now the dogs start. Oh yeah. It's I was doing fine with the walking with the 20 pounds in the back, but I didn't go as long as I'd like to, or as often as I'd like to, because it's been really cold and nasty out, and I use that as an excuse to not. And we also had grandkids over down in the basement screeching and carrying on, so I also use that as an excuse not to make up my steps on the treadmill down there, because right now I don't like working out in front of anybody at all, and you might feel the same way. I hate it. I won't rebound in front of anybody. I will not exercise, even Owen. I just won't. Maybe Jasmine, because she's becoming a mini me, and so I think I can work with Jasmine. Because the grandkids were over, it ended up turning into beautiful weather at the end of their visit, and Owen scraped off his newly created ice rink, and he made it double the size as before, and the kids seemed to have a blast going around on the ice. Not a whole lot of skating happening, but sliding and laughing and having a great time, so that's kind of cool too. And he's talking about making it even bigger next year. Not sure exactly where this rink will end up being, but that's for next year to figure out.
What? Why we have coffee?
Good going, Jasmine.
Oh, I almost forgot. One of the most disgusting things that occurred in the last week was Gus, who likes to snag anything and everything he can get a hold of, because we're always opening up his mouth to dig out whatever he managed to snag from in the house. Anyway, he grabbed one of Jasmine's vitamin D tablets. I didn't know about that until the next day. Anyway, in the night he had the diarrhea in his crate, and it was just so stinky and gross and whoa. And anyway, so I'm trying to figure out what on earth he got into, because the only things that I know of him getting into now, because I always have him on the leash because of this, He likes to eat horse poo, but he's been doing that since we got them, and that's not changed his feces. So then when Jazz got off the bus, I asked her if she noticed him getting into anything, and she said, yeah, well, he grabbed one of her vitamin Ds. And that, well, of course, then I'm looking it up, and yeah, diarrhea is one of them. I guess I'm lucky that he's a big dog, and it was a child's dose of vitamin D. So you just got to be so careful with your animals to see what they can and cannot get a hold of, because they're very fast. And there was no way you can reach in and grab that from out of his mouth, because that would have been chewed up and swallowed really fast, because he sees you coming over and he's batting at you with his front foot, and he's chewing really hard, and yeah, it's gone. So yeah, that took about 2 days to resolve. A lot of time spent in the crate with water, with rice, some white rice, just to ease his stomach and thicken things up. And today, when I took him for his walk, yay, 2 real poops. That was so exciting. Doing some more stuff in the kitchen. I made myself some Greek yogurt, and I've got that all strained and in the fridge. It doesn't take long. Well, it takes about 24 hours, but it's not exactly labor intensive to make your own healthy Greek yogurt. And let's see here. And I had been collecting a bunch of rose hips at the end of, well, it's still fall, but before it snowed. And I got some oil, and I'm creating some rose hip oil for, well, basically skincare, because it's supposed to be very, very good. And so it's about time. It's been there for a month, and I'm going to be straining it off here right away. And also, that's my daughter's favorite phrase, and also I got all the bits and pieces to create treats for the horses for Christmas. And one of these days we'll be having a treat making day. And I think the last bit was trying to get us some molasses. Now, that was on the grocery list a few times, and it finally made its way home. Both Owen and I kept forgetting or missing, and finally it made its way home. So I'll be building some horse treats in the nearby future, and that ought to be good. But yeah, it's been a mixed bag of activities this past week. I've resolved to start again. I resolved to start again pretty much every morning. So we'll see how it goes. My next one will be about rebounding, my adventures in rebounding, because that's exactly what I'm sitting on as I do this video. I know all the good things that rebounding can do for a body, and I'll be going over that. And yeah, I will see you in a few days. Hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.